Alright, greetings everyone. It is time for another video. So to start off with the introduction, let's tell a little bit about what's going on. The Dragon Quest event has started in JP and will be going till I think it's like the end of September or whatever. We have, just in the background here, our good little slime boy, so that people can see him. Look at him, he's so happy. But today we're going to be essentially focusing this video on character upgrades. There's of course looking at the Dragon Quest event, reviewing slime, building slime, and last but not least, a Zoma video, of course, and new equipment including vision cards. All of that is stuff we're going to be taking a look at in multiple videos as there's just so much content now. But first and foremost, I figured let's get some stuff out of the way to deal with improvements. And there are a slew of job improvements today that we're going to not take a look at because we talked about them in the previous video, and while they are looking pretty nice, and I will touch on them as we kind of go through some of the characters that have gotten those upgrades. Honestly, the big deal in this video is just looking at Master Ability 2 characters this time and the upgrades surrounding them. So that is what this video is about. That is what we're talking about, and let's get to it. Alright, so first off, we have Howlet. And, you know, Howlet is a character that a lot of people are pretty fond of, and myself included. I do like him. So let's start taking a look at his Master Ability 2. Hold on, I gotta check this line. He's so cute. He's so cute. But, alright. What did Howlet actually end up getting? Well, his Master Ability 2 now includes the Wind buff. It includes a Spirit Penetration buff of 20, Magic increase of 30%, AP consumption down to 20%, and AoE resistance of 30 when his HP is over 70%. Or equal to 70%, really good buff. Helps him survive when he's high HP. He does have HP restoration abilities, and just generally completely better upgrade for a DPS character like himself. As for Rune Knight, nothing overly particularly stood out insanely much, and I do believe that they have upgraded these. You look at this, for instance. This is definitely one that stands out. It's increasing slash attack by 40 for 3 turns is a pretty big boost. Definitely brings him more in line with current characters, and this is the drain ability, so that is a good ability that's going to be improving a lot of other stuff. Looking at the rest of his kit, just seems like some general improvements that are really good here. I think that overall, Howlet is a definitive win. Between the job increases, which look to be much nicer and just making it more modern, his Master Ability 2 synergizes very well with the rest of his kit, and I think Rune Knight ended up being really nice for him. Haven't tested him out because mine's not at 120 yet, but I very much foresee myself getting this character to 120 with the buffs that he's gotten. So Howlet's rating, double thumbs up. Anyone who is a Howlet enjoyer will be enjoying him even more in the future. So great. Moving on. Great. And as we load in our next character, one of my personal favorites is Chel. I really love Chel's design. I think she's great. Lemon lime flavoring of her aesthetic is just fantastic. Citrus flavor. But let's talk about this. So Master Ability, she's getting an HP increase by 10 and stun resistance for ice allies. Great. Agility by 10% for herself. Decrease skill activation time is still 250. Same with the agility buff that was already there before. Increase of HP of 30% and defense and spirit of 70% overall. Now this is okay. It's not amazing because it's not maybe focusing too much on Chel's offensive capabilities that she is getting with its update, but the HP and defense and spirit all makes her just more difficult to kill and potentially providing just more support for ice elemental teams. And I think even with the stun resistance, it's all just pretty nice overall. Now, taking a look at her main job, we can start to see some of the benefits that the ice that Green Mage is going to be getting. So for instance, right here, D-Shell and D-Protect, now big AoEs, or at least they're supposed to be. And as you can see here, 35% decrease. I do believe I saw the same ability on Soma, and it was 40%, so maybe some things haven't been completely updated. Maybe there's a few ones, but D-Shell and D-Protect now should be this large AoE, which will be very, very good. As for Dispel, as you can see, it is just a massive range now, and that goes a long way to this character actually being able to help a considerable amount. And again, Dispel for Chel also gets improved, decreasing agility and CT, which is very strong. And then we get into Weak, which is now a 220 modifier, decreasing all elemental resistance by 25% for 3 turns. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the way Green Mage is looking. Green Mage looks to be a little bit more interesting now, both as a debuffer and as well as just a damage dealer class. I'm pretty happy. Chel should be really good now for getting through the selection quest, but just the fact that she is capable of doing this looks very, very. I'm happy with it. I'm just happy with it. So what's to do here? Just gonna do this as a bit of a marker, and we're gonna switch over to our next character. I want to say that's pronounced Tyytas, but I'm sure I'm saying it wrong because names. Now, taking a look at this character, master ability is frostbite resistance for dark allies. That could be really interesting because dark allies are potentially going to get a boost with a new character coming up very soon, and this might be good for just cost limited. We're looking at piercing and missile resistance still of 10%, AP damage 5, but 15% for defense and for HP and 15 for defense, as well as increasing debuff resistance for elemental resistance 100 when his HP is over 70% is very good. It allows him to be a very good tank against multiple elements. It allows him to just be a generally better tank overall. I don't think that this is the most amazing unit in the world. I don't see him in selection quests all that often, but I don't hate him. And just taking a look at his main job, really nothing that got buffed this time. But that's okay. I think that he came out of this update looking still more interesting. I guess I want to see if his synergy could be potentially useful. Don't think that he was that crazy before, but it's good, nice update, and it feels very tanky. So, if you've been following along at home, we'll just give a update for the trilogy. That is these 3. Howlet feels amazing. Chel also feels like an amazing upgrade. Tyytas feels pretty good, but his mileage may vary depending on how he is in select quests and just synergistically. If there are a lot of mage teams, I don't think you'll really excel them. Now, last but not least is Muraga Finis, and this is a character I have not done in my selection quest, so I'm not an expert, but I have seen him, I have gone up against him, and I know that he can be a tough sometimes. So, big thing is the damage reduction barrier that we see in his kit. 3 times at a 50% damage reduction is not to be scoffed at. It is very good, and it's just constantly active at the start of battle, which is great for, multiple fights because you don't have to cast it. It's just really nice. HP attack, earth attack stay the same. Looking at his attack percentage also stays the same. He does get a HP increase. Ding. For himself of 15%, he gets slash and missile resistance of 10 and some natural hate, which kind of just pushes Muraga into being a little bit more of a just generally naturally tanky unit, and with his own piece of equipment from the selection quest, he looks pretty solid. Earth element. But I do think that Muraga looks pretty nice overall in terms of the upgrade that he got from his Master Ability 2. And I think that he will find potentially a solid place on a Earth Elemental team. Alright, I'm done with the Earth jokes. Nothing much else to talk about at this point because he hasn't gotten any real improvements via Ninja or Paladin in this specific update. But yeah, so to briefly go over, and as you can see there are 3 more up here, but we're not doing that in this video. Howlet is my favorite of the 3. I think that just with how strong Wind is right now and how Sadali is really good on Wind Elemental teams, this is a solid update that he can potentially kill a lot of people, still have a good amount of survivability through attacks that may have killed him previously, and especially because, you know, Rune Knight is just not so killing itself now. I mean, preemptive of testing, it's one of the more ones that I like here. Chel, I love Chel. I love her upgrade. I love that Green Mage feels like it has some kind of a function now. But that said, her AI is still more focused on support, and that does kind of hurt her evaluation a little bit, but overall I'm really happy with Chel. I'm happy with the upgrade to Green Mage, and that will also be talked about in my Zoma video. As for Tyytas I think is potentially interesting. Maybe I can find a spot for him, but we're starting to slide down the scale of, wow, I just feel incredibly enthusiastic about this character. I mean, the triplets just feel pretty, I'm pretty happy with them, so there it is. And as for Muraga, I think that he is a good enough Earth character to just be run, and his upgrade through his Master Ability 2 potentially gives him a little bit more of a function as just being kind of a pseudo tank that can also beat your skull in. But yeah, my impressions are such as follows. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Take care. Next time.